Westworld Season 2, Episode 8 starts with William, near death. Akecheta turns up and speaks in Lakota, the language spoken by Ghost Nation. We know that William's daughter Emily learned this language, but William never did. Despite his years of obsession with the secrets of Westworld, he never learned to communicate with one of the park's most mysterious groups. This shows how Ghost Nation, and maybe indigenous peoples generally, are overlooked. And it's a reminder that Emily knows more about Westworld than she's letting on. Akecheta saves William's life, but not out of kindness. He says death is an escape from this brutal world, and William doesn't deserve to die. Because Akecheta remembers William's crimes, like killing Maeve and her daughter, so he keeps William alive as punishment to hurt him. This idea of death as freedom from life is similar to Dolores' reasoning for destroying the cradle last episode. Emily arrives to pick up her dad and says that she also wants William to hurt. Maybe she just means to hurt him emotionally, to force him to face his mistakes, fix their relationship, and come home like she asked him earlier. Or maybe she'll do something worse. We know Emily's involved somehow with the Delos Immortality Project. Maybe she'll use it to make William suffer. In the Mesa, Lee looks over Maeve. She had been so powerful lately, but now she's vulnerable and broken. Lee had helped create Maeve. He wrote some of her lines at least, and for most of the season, he didn't believe that hosts could be more than their code. But after seeing the realness of Maeve's passion this season, he's realized that she deserves to be free. He apologizes for getting her shot and tries to have her fixed, but Charlotte finds out about Maeve's power to control hosts. Dolores warned last episode that the humans would use Maeve against them, so Charlotte might want to turn Maeve into her own tool for control. So Maeve might need Lee's help to escape. But throughout this episode, Maeve uses her power to see through the eyes of her host daughter, and she listens as Akecheta tells his life story. Akecheta, or Aki, once lived a peaceful life with his partner Kohana. This was 35 years ago, when Ford and Arnold were first starting Westworld. Arnold realized that the hosts could become conscious and that the park would be hell for them, so he programmed Dolores to kill the hosts and Arnold, hoping to stop the park from opening, which again connects to this idea of death being freedom from life. This was the Escalante massacre, and Akecheta saw its aftermath. He found Arnold's maze toy, which represents a host's journey to consciousness. So, like Dolores, Akecheta began his own awakening, but before he got fully woke, he was reprogrammed. Because Arnold's massacre failed to stop Westworld opening. With investment from William and Delos, Ford opened the park anyway, and he made changes to the hosts. Aki's peaceful life with Kohana was replaced with the life of a brutal warrior, a dehumanized bad guy for the Westworld guests to kill. So, for a while, Aki led Ghost Nation warriors. In Season 1, we saw Ghost Nation attacking Confederados and attacking Maeve at her homestead. But Aki still knew that something was wrong with his world. He looked for answers and found Logan in the desert. This connects to the end of Season 1, when William tied Logan to a horse to discredit him. But Aki had actually met Logan years before. He and Angela were used to convince Logan to invest, so maybe seeing Logan again reminds Aki of this other past life. And Logan tells Aki that Westworld is an illusion, and there's a way out, a door. So Aki learns that this world is fake, he has lived other lives, and there's a way out. So he searches further and finds the Valley. This is the facility William built 30 years ago for his plan to record Westworld guest data. This may be a place where copied human minds are stored. In the latest timeline, we've seen the Valley flooded. Dolores says it's a weapon. William calls it his greatest mistake and a place of judgment. And Akecheta sees this place as a door to a true world that contains everything that we have lost, where hosts will be free forever. This might not mean a door to literally leave Westworld. Like, maybe the Valley has a simulation, like the Cradle, where hosts can live in a virtual paradise. That could fit the talk of heaven and death this season. We'll have to wait and see what the Valley and the door really mean. But Archie believes he can use it to escape this world, and he wants to bring his love Kohana with him. But Kohana has been reset and doesn't remember their relationship, so he just kidnaps her till she remembers, because true love and a little Stockholm Syndrome conquer all. Archie and Kohana head for the valley, but on the way, Westworld techs find Kohana off her loop and capture her. They don't find Archie, maybe because he's an older host who isn't tracked properly. Archie looks for Kohana back at her village, but she's been replaced with a different host, like how Clementine and Maeve were replaced. So Archie searches all over Westworld for his Kohana, till he realizes she's not among the living. Ghost Nation is vaguely aware of Westworld techs taking and replacing hosts. They call techs shades, or the ones below, some even pray to them. And Archie calls Arnold the Creator, and Dolores the Deathbringer. Just like people throughout history, Ghost Nation is using religion to give meaning to the unknown. So, Kohana is in cold storage in the Mesa Hub, and to reach her, Archie must journey to this land of the dead. It's like the myth of Orpheus, who travels to the underworld for his love Eurydice. Journeys to the land of the dead are common in myths all over the world. So, Akecheta gets himself killed and taken to the Mesa. Techs realize that Archie hasn't been updated in years, because they only update hosts when they die, and Archie stayed alive all this time. Instead of investigating this cock-up, the boss tells them to just quietly return Archie to the park. This seems to be how Westworld management rolls. They sweep problems under the rug so no one has to take responsibility, which does help explain how Dolores and Maeve got away with so much unscripted shenanigans last season. Akecheta explores the Mesa, the world beneath his fake life, and he finds his love Kohana among the inactive hosts. This is similar to the scene in episode 2 with William and Dolores. When William meets his former lover, he dehumanizes her and calls her a thing to be used. But when Akecheta meets Kohana, his love is not only reaffirmed, but it expands. He says that all hosts in cold storage matter to someone, and he decides to save not only himself and Kohana, but all hosts. So Archie dedicates his life to sharing the symbol of the maze. It's like a meme to spread the idea of host consciousness. Apparently, all the mazes we've seen in host scalps were put there by Ghost Nation as a way of spreading the symbol without humans noticing, which is hard to believe. Techs would have to repair scalped hosts, so surely they would see the symbol. This might be some weird retcon, but the point is that Akecheta uses the maze symbol to help make hosts conscious. Dolores' awakening and William's quest last season follow the maze, which means that these arcs weren't just planned out by Ford, they were influenced by Akecheta's work. Sometime around Season 1, Akecheta meets Ford, who's checking out the maze symbol on host scalps. We have seen Ford confused by the maze. He says this symbol was meant to die, because to Ford, this was Arnold's maze toy. Ford never meant for the hosts to appropriate it. Ford didn't support host consciousness when he opened the park. He only later changed his mind to support the hosts. So Akecheta's whole journey to consciousness and all the maze stuff happened without human help. All this time, a flower growing in the darkness. In Ford's final speech before his death, he says he realized that someone was paying attention, someone who could change, and he wrote his plan for host consciousness for them. Maybe Akecheta is that someone, a flower in the darkness, who helped convince Ford that hosts deserve to be free. So Ford gives Archie a hint. He tells him that soon Dolores will kill Ford, which was part of Ford's plan, and that's when Akecheta should gather his hosts and lead them to the valley and the door. Now that Ford's dead, Archie knows that it's time to lead his hosts to salvation. He might even bring some humans, because Ghost Nation has captured human guests, and Stubbs and Emily. Akecheta's journey has shown him that there's goodness in all people, hosts and humans. So that's Akecheta's story, from the beginning of Westworld to his present role as a messianic leader, and it's all framed by his relationship with Maeve. We learn that during Archie's travels, he was once saved by Maeve's daughter, so afterwards he watched over Maeve's home, trying to keep them safe. Maeve thought that Akecheta wanted to hurt them, but that was a tragic misunderstanding. Of course, before Akecheta awoke, his men totally did attack Maeve, which kinda undercuts the message, but the point is that Akecheta and Maeve now share a bond. Akecheta promises to protect Maeve's daughter, and Maeve replies, "Take my heart when you go," which is the same line Akecheta shared with Kohana. So, similar to Maeve's arc with Akane in Shogunworld, this relationship shows a common struggle shared by all hosts for their loved ones and for freedom. Unlike the Deathbringer Dolores, Akecheta sees that all hosts, and maybe some humans, deserve salvation at the door or the valley, and whatever lies beyond. So, this episode is simpler than the last few. No crazy battles or obnoxious time twists, and yet it tells a story that is both deeply personal and mythic. It starts with the creation of Westworld and an Edenic existence before a fall from paradise. A hero walks a desert searching for meaning, journeys to the underworld for love, meets God, spreads enlightenment, then prepares to lead his people to a promised land. This is the cosmology of Westworld, a sci-fi bible weaved through the timeline by the love story of Akecheta. Westworld feels meaningful when it gets back to basics, with a story about a person trying to find their place in the universe. There won't be a episode 9 video next week. Instead, we'll do a live stream for patrons, and then after episode 10, there'll be a big finale video to wrap up the season. In the meantime, check out the Westworld subreddit, the podcasts Decoding Westworld and The Maze, the YouTuber Hacks Dogma, then come back here for the finale. We'll figure out what this all means. Thank you for watching this video and the series so far. And thanks to the patrons, including John Morris, Adam Mathewson, Stephanie Ramirez, Rafael Paris, Livia Vasconcelos, Cody Gordon, Daniel Crotty, Axel Freeberg, and Slow Pepper. Cheers.